and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 197. I'm going to go with 7. I think it's 7.
Maybe. Let me. It was a number that's less than 200, but more than 190.
Patient says 196.
Ah, shit. You're right. Yeah, it is 196. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair play. That's my bad. Okay. I'm Casey. Hi. How's it going? This week we have Kenji.
Hi, I'm Kenchi618, and I'm not gonna say my tailbone hurts, but boy, does my tailbone hurt.
Logic. Okay. Zero.
Hi, I'm Zero, and whenever Kenshi says his tailbone hurts, everybody's like, of course it hurts. Because everything about Kenshi hurts all the time, always, forever.
It's not true.
30 is going to kick your ass.
I already know this.
And Patience here.
Hello, everyone. Insert witty comment here.
Fair play. So, yeah, I believe Patient said that he does have to go to work early today. So I guess, Patient, do you want to go first?
Sure, I don't really have too much to say anyway. Just, not too much has been going on this week aside from the obvious. Just, work didn't go quite as well as I would have liked this past week. But it's a new week, new chances, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Aside from that, let's see. Alright, I suppose I may as well say this. I've been spending a good portion of the past... 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
A good portion of the past few days on, past couple of weeks, actually, on an app called, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It's,
Oh god, there's a phone game for it now.
There is.
Wait, which Yu-Gi-Oh! Phone app game is it?
Duel Links.
Okay, because I remember I had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel app thing at one point, too.
I mean, this one is focusing on the anime, the earlier parts of it. It's gotten the first one and GX thus far, and I'm honestly really missing the earlier stages of the game. Nowadays, it's just become another one of those big marketing things. Just keep putting out more and more cards, more and more changes to the rules, as much as you want, as much as you can, as much as you can profit from it.
Yep, you gotta change the rules every 6 months so that people have to buy the new cards with the new rules.
Yeah.
It's becoming exasperating. And I mean, one thing that they've introduced with the most recent generation, it's tweaked things in a way that makes the last 2 additions to the game not so overpowered. So, I mean, I like that it's changed things up, but just so many changes, and
yeah, it gets to the point where, they changed this cool thing, and so now it's new and interesting, but they're going to change it again in 6 months, so this is going to be completely pointless, like half a year from now.
Yeah. I never told you guys that there was a period of time in which I was number 1 on a server for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Gacha game. Yeah, I know. I was number 1. And
I need a clarification. By Yu-Gi-Oh! Gacha game, do you mean gacha as in the sound for capsule machines, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as in the type of game where you kind of have to. Well, it wasn't exactly gacha, but it was kind of, you had to spend money to buy things and whatnot. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Style game, and for a period of time in which I spent way too much money on that, I was number 1, and I was so well respected and liked by the server. And then I realized my wallet was starting to get empty, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, loot boxes before loot boxes, and oh boy, do I remember that time. Yeah, for reasons that are probably obvious to long-time listeners, yeah, that got me bad. I have a problem with loot boxes and such as a concept now.
I have a problem with any sort of mobile game where you can just like there's the Dragon Ball Dokkan battle where you could get the gotcha things and you would get a random fighter or something. And I had like Omega Shenron, and I was like, okay, I'm spending too much money again. I can't play these games anymore. I can't.
Yep.
I mean, for me, everything in the game is unlockable normally with just you you have options to buy stuff in it, but well, as long as you have enough patience, you can get it the regular way as well.
Yeah.
But you can't be number one if you don't spend your money to try to beat the other people who are getting their Egyptian gods. And you only have no Egyptian gods, so you have to spend money to get that one Egyptian god. Now everybody's got teams of Egyptian gods, and you're like, oh man, but I'm still the best because I'm optimizing super well.
Yep,
Oh,
and
gosh,
every time you lose against the team with the Egyptian gods, I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh. It will pop up an advertisement for, hey, why don't you buy some loot boxes so next time you won't lose? I'm familiar with the concept.
First, they haven't introduced the Egyptian gods into this game yet, at least. We'll see what happens further down the line. Anyway, it's pretty fun. You play as the noteworthy characters from the first two series, and, well, it's nice to test out their specialties. It's also a much smaller playing field than normal. The regular game has 5 zones for monsters and 5 zones for spells and traps. This one has 3 for each, so it slims down the playstyle quite a bit. Also, the deck that you can use, the limit is cut in half on that as well. So different stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty significant change. Like, there's like a lot of cards would have to change the rule set a little bit. Like, there's the one that summons like 4 tokens or something.
Yeah, Scapegoat. That's one of my favorite cards, honestly. But yeah, you can't include that one when you've only got 3 zones to work with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe they just slimmed it down for the sake of making the app able to play on a phone. But I mean,
Even so, it's an interesting change to the rules.
Yes, it is.
I only ever learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh so I could beat my friend who was really into Yu-Gi-Oh. And I did. So, and then I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
And then you played a Yu-Gi-Oh gotcha game, and then everything was regrets.
Yes, exactly. This is my journey with Yu-Gi-Oh, and it has ended since then.
I'll say, like, Patient, when you told me about that game, I had to laugh a little bit because my friend's playing that game too.
Well, I got into it thanks to a friend of mine who is a fan of Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! And is a very talented writer in his own regard. But not a fan of One Piece, unfortunately, so just met him through a different mutual interest. Anyway, moving on from that, of course, Changing the Future Redone has hit 1,000 favorites.
Whoop.
Yeah, I'm happy about that, honestly.
Should be. Yeah.
Aside from that, the next chapter of This Bites is nearly finished. We've got a bit more to take care of, but we've handled the major fight scenes now. So
You were you went with the one long protracted chapter, yes?
well, this isn't Strong World. This is the filler arc before Strong World.
Oh, right. Okay.
As for the poll, taking a look at the results, yeah, it's still 62% in favor of one mega-sized chapter. So unless we get a few hundred voters within the next few days, odds are that it's going to be one mega-sized chapter. Also,
Oh
You're
boy.
really going to want to take a look at the next chapter of 12 Red Lines. My girlfriend has a brilliant plan in mind for a twist at the end. It's going to be
Uh-oh.
Hmm. Okay.
If you're that excited about it, I can only imagine.
just something that I dare say you would never see coming, and you would never even consider if you weren't scientifically minded about a very minor occurrence in the series. Oh, it's going to be so fun to watch people's reactions to it.
All right.
I respect that.
All right, let me see. Anything else? Fan fiction work that came. Nothing's coming particularly quickly to mind. No new recommendations, unfortunately. I've been trying to keep track of them. Though, no need to bring that up. Well, I suppose I can throw in. Ah, yes, one other thing. I've been watching YouTubers play Cuphead recently. It's quite an enjoyable show.
Yeah. I watched Achievement Hunter play it because I watched pretty much everything Achievement Hunter. They're very sweary, so I would be surprised Patient had, but yeah, that game actually looks pretty fun, and I might buy it down the line.
I have the system for it, so I have an Xbox One because my brother bought an Xbox One, so
What's
I could
it on?
play it on Xbox. Cuphead's on Xbox One and the Windows Store.
Wow, that suddenly changes things.
I know. So you could brave the Windows Store.
The last time I heard of someone trying to use the Windows Store, it bricked their desktop, so I'm gonna not do that.
Also, the thing that really stands out to me, I mean, a lot of interesting bosses. I like the plot. I love the classic Chuck Jones style art. But how do you give a song this epic and catchy, a villain song this good, to an NPC roadblock?
I assume for King Dice that you're talking about?
Yes.
Isn't he like the final boss or something?
Well, yes, he's the dragon, but this song only plays when he's blocking your way to the next area.
Well, I suppose that just gives it more opportunities for it to be played rather than in just one boss fight. I guess could be the logic, but yeah, I probably would have gone with a boss fight instead, so you get the climactic moment that has the best music.
The lyrics themselves say it. I can't let you pass, 'cause you ain't done everything. Bring me those contracts, bring them to the king. Yeah, it's explicitly saying that
Okay.
it only plays when he's blocking your way.
I mean, take the lyrics out, and it's probably fine. Yes.
Bring me those contracts.
It might be too slow paced for a boss fight though, so maybe that's why they didn't use it for.
Well, that's when you do an upbeat, fast-paced remix of the song and use the leitmotif.
I'm devil's advocating here.
I know.
Oh, that's really fitting considering the context of the game.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Do anything else, Patient, or is that it?
Check out YouTuber Josh Scorcher, also known as the Fiery Joker. He's maybe it's just my liking, the liking that I discovered for YouTube countdowns of top whatever, but he's quite entertaining about it all and doesn't swear at all. So
Fair play.
And just to be entertaining about it.
Hmm.
Inspired me into look into a few things. So, yeah, that's it for me. I'll be on for about 10 more minutes to give some response, then I need to head off.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go next? I will take a while. Promise. So. Okay, so I guess Zero will go next.
Yeah, I'll go next. So, was no podcast last week, so I didn't get a chance to say that I saw Bladerunner 2049.
Ooh, I did too.
Okay, it's really good.
It is super long.
It is super long. It takes its time. And it deals with some really interesting topics. And it's just a really good movie. My dad and I watched the original Blade Runner before going to see it. And there's definitely some... I would say it would help if you watched the original Blade Runner, but I don't think you necessarily need to.
So I was right about that. I said that to someone earlier today.
It was really good. Yeah. That's all I can really say. Go see it.
Fair enough.
I just don't want to go into detail about anything regarding it because it's just really good. I also went to a concert the other day. And you guys ever watch America's Got Talent?
No.
I'm aware of it, and I've
Okay.
seen parts
In
of it.
fairness,
I don't watch
we
it.
do have our own version of that, which was the original version. So I didn't watch
Yeah,
that
I
either,
know.
but I thought I'd bring it up.
So,
I watched a few episodes of the early installments of the season. I assume you're going to bring up the ventriloquist.
nope. I
Yeah.
went to see one of my favorites from that show, which was Puddles' Pity Party. He's the 7-foot-tall sad clown in golden voice, and it's amazing.
Wow.
He has his own YouTube channel and everything.
Okay.
So, me and my dad went to see Puddles' Pity Party, and he puts on a show. Like, seriously, like, we were laughing. There were, like, little skits and bits, like, between the songs. And it was just a great time. We went down to the casino nearby. And interestingly enough, my mom went to penny slots and won, like, $22 net profit. So
Yeah.
my mom just wins at slots. I don't know why. I don't know how, but she does. I lose at slots every time I try it, so.
Penny slots are meant to entice you to do bigger things so that it's not as cutthroat.
Yeah, but she was she won like over $20 off of penny slots. So
Yeah.
That's nothing to a casino.
Yeah.
yeah, but like that's pretty good for just a casual 15 minutes. Yeah, my mom was just going there to just hang out and play a few games because me and Dad were just going to the show. Had some really good Panda Express before it at the food court at the casino, and like this was like really fresh, really good. It was memorable, very memorable Panda Express.
All right then.
I like my panda. So yeah,
I don't even know what they serve.
Chinese
Orange-
food.
orange chicken.
Mall Chinese food.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's good. Shut up if you say it's not. I like Chinese food.
I like real Chinese food.
So do I, but I also like Panda Express because it's like when you need Chinese food, but you gotta go. That's what Panda Express is. And I always need Chinese food, and I always gotta go. Aside from that, I've continued my marathon of Critical Role.
Mm-hmm. I know you have. You keep
I am
talking to
on-
me about it.
I am on episode 114.
For those not aware, 114 is the climactic boss battle of the entire show.
Mm-hmm. And I'm partway through it at the current moment, and I'm kind of I want to continue it after this. So there's that. really
Yep.
good show. Really good show. Really, really sad things have happened. But it's going to be happy in the end. I know it.
Do you really know it?
No, I don't. I really don't. So that happened. Also released a new chapter because a while back now, because it was like last week or something.
Hmm.
Tried playing with second person because second person is a really fun and unique perspective to write in. For those who don't know, second person is you did this, you did that. And it's kind of like an adventure style, like those adventure books.
Yeah, it's the choose your own adventure narrative format, or the Dungeon Masters narrative format, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, maybe that was slightly influenced by me marathoning Critical Role.
Quite
I don't
possibly.
know. Quite possibly. Maybe I wrote a lot of second person because yes, this probably makes more sense now.
Matt Mercer is
But
very good at it, in fairness.
but I think I'm pretty good at it too. I think I
Yeah.
did a pretty good job.
All right.
I like playing with new types of writing because you never grow if you just keep writing the same thing all the time. If you keep writing the same characters, if you keep writing the same perspective, you can never really grow as a writer, in my opinion. So it helps to branch out.
And eventually, all of your characters and stories start sounding the same, and
Yeah.
that's not great.
Aside from that, I picked up Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions on the 3DS, which is the remake of the original Game Boy game with an added Bowser's Minions mode, where you play as a Goomba captain, and you have to go and you have to defeat this enemy nation and find Bowser. And you recruit more and more Goombas, and then Hammer Bros, and you get your squad going. And it's actually really fun.
You are not going easy on me with the link dump, are you?
No!
That was me typing all that shit, by the way, just like
a
minute ago.
Yeah, take that.
So if you heard a put upon side, that was why. It's like, Mario and... okay, Mario and Luigi, Superstar Saga, plus... Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mario Luigi Superstar Saga is still an amazing game. Never stopped being an amazing game, but this remake is really good.
I played the first one. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. And I really like just the graphical upgrade, like everything. There's lighting in here, like actual decent lighting in the game. It's all sprite based too, so that's something. I mean, I'm kind of at the stage where I wish everything was just on the Switch and the 3DS would just die.
It is dying.
Yeah, I know, but it's not dying yet. And we thought it would have. People thought it would die 6 months ago. It still hasn't.
Well,
it's going to
Pokemon
continue to
keep
live.
putting games on it, and that's...
Well, no, the next Pokemon game is Switch only.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's probably when it's going to finally die, is when that game comes out.
Yeah.
But,
And then I
yeah.
might buy a Switch, maybe.
Yeah, it's actually a really good console.
So I
Like,
hear.
once you get-
That's why I'm thinking about it.
Once you have it in your hands, like, it's surprisingly good.
That's what
It's
she said.
not
Yeah.
backwards compatible, right? With, like, the Wii U and such.
I can't imagine.
No, it's not.
Sad face.
But a lot of the better Wii U games have been ported.
Ah.
So you have Mario Kart,
Bayonetta?
Pokken. Bayonetta, I'm afraid, has not been announced, but I have a feeling that they probably would port it at some point in the future. I don't know.
Hope so. I really wanted to play Bayonetta 2.
It's really good.
So I hear. It's still a weird mix of Nintendo, the kid-friendly company, and Bayonetta, the game where the main character is an incredibly, unrealistically leggy woman who strips for fighting. Yeah.
She's in Smash Brothers, and she's broken.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I suppose, are upset that they would include her when they didn't bring back Snake.
She won the poll.
Yes, she did.
and I'm glad she did.
I had never even heard of Bayonetta before she came out there. And, well, I haven't played either of the games. I'm not sure I'm going to. All I've heard thus far is that they're very bizarre.
They're spectacle fighters. They're Devil May Cry or God of War. More Devil May Cry, to be honest.
Never played those either.
Character action game.
Yeah. Very flashy, very fast-paced. All about doing impressive-looking moves and combat routines and such. It's pretty fun, not gonna lie. Yeah.
I see. So you want it, so they just like it flashy.
It's flashy, but there's also substance. That's Bayonetta.
Patient is salty about this. Okay.
I'm not salty at all.
Bayonetta 1 is on Steam, so they did a PC release.
Let him talk. Patient.
I was just coming out with the thought that I've got Buggy and Bayonetta stuck in my head. Just how Buggy would think of the game. So.
Can't even imagine.
No, I can't. Buggy the Clown would like Bayonetta too. Endorsed by a clown.
That's kind of thrown me, to be honest. I don't really know where to go from there. Zero, you were talking about something.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I kind of lost where I was at. Aside from those things,
yep.
We got Spider-Man: Homecoming on Blu-ray, and we're gonna watch it again probably, but with 3D because my dad likes his 3D ability on his TV with the 3D glasses. We're probably some of the only people in the world who still have the TV that can do 3D. It's so weird.
You know, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have a purchase they very much regret, but don't really want to spend another however much money on a new TV just to get rid of the feature. Yeah, so.
Well, my dad doesn't regret it.
When you're not in the room, he's like, "Why did I buy this TV?"
I bought this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
My connection has dropped there for a second. What were you saying?
That's it for my week.
Oh, okay. Ken, do you want to go next? Why does your tailbone hurt?
I don't know. I'm going to blame the theater seats from when I was watching Bladerunner because I was perfectly fine Friday night.
I'd say that's a good source to blame.
What kind of theater did you go watch it?
It was like it's one of them. We talked about it before. It's like one of those dinner theaters.
Oh
so
yeah.
Oh, like Alamo.
Like Studio Movie Grill.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, that's where I went to see Blade Runner, but they had pretty comfortable seats there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The seats weren't bad or anything. It's just I can't sit somewhere for that long in one place because my back isn't great to begin with.
I just remembered. So when we went to see Blade Runner, my brother came along with his girlfriend, and so my brother ended up sitting between my mom and his girlfriend. That led to some fun interactions.
Sure, let's go with that. So yeah, well, messed up tailbone and all. I had a show Saturday.
Woo.
Yeah, and I was in a tag match, so I had a partner against two other dudes, and it was a pretty good match. I like to think it was fun, but at the end, man, they killed me. Not really, but like if you watch the match, I got destroyed at the end because like
Oh.
it was it was supposed to be split up. Like I'd take some stuff, my partner took some stuff, but we kind of forgot the finish. So like we kind of had to get him out of there, and I was like, "Fine, fuck it, just hit me with everything." So we just went through with everything on me. So I took all of their big moves and their finishers. Yeah, kind of almost died. Not really, but you know,
As part of the show.
Yeah.
if you're watching the match, you're like, "Oh my god, why don't they just finish him already?"
Okay, so the next time you have a match, you have to burst out of a coffin. Okay, just have them
No.
bring a coffin, have the resurrection happen.
Oh, Bellamy
Actually,
Koga, the undead ninja.
No,
No?
Okay. Apologies, gentlemen, but this is when my time is up. I'll see you all tomorrow for Anime Reflux.
all right,
Bye, patient.
Take care.
later. You know, Zero.
No, but
It's
seriously,
funny-
undead ninja.
No, it's funny you say that though because it was a Halloween themed show.
What if we just cover you with toilet paper
No,
and then the mummy?
no.
Okay, not ninja. How about the undying martial artist?
Bellamy the Undying.
You guys suck sometimes.
We're trying to help. Oh.
We're trying to help you build your kayfabe.
Yeah, I don't know what that
What do you-
means, but yeah.
Why do you know that word means, Zero?
Because I know a little bit about wrestling.
Sure, let's go with that.
No, but seriously, what does that word mean?
Don't worry about it, Casey.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah. I got a game. The latest WWE 2K game.
Oh, I heard that was trash.
The game itself is not really trash. It's that they loot boxes.
Oh, of course. It's a 2K. Oh.
I heard the character customization was still on point, though.
Yeah, that's fine. If you didn't have to unlock everything you could possibly try to use in that character.
Oh.
And I'm not just talking like gear and like hair and stuff like that. I'm talking moves and everything.
Just go play Fire Pro Wrestling.
I will do that because, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to spend all my time unlocking stuff to make characters with. It kind of defeats the purpose of creating a character.
Yeah.
That actually makes me really sad. Like, I don't give a shit about wrestling games, but I have fond memories of, again, I'm going to bring up Achievement Hunter because I'm a fanboy, them playing the wrestling game of the year and creating their own characters that all, one and all, were abominations against nature, and just going balls out with how stupid the costume designs were.
Yeah,
That makes me sad that they can't do that now.
Can't really do that because all the cool shit's locked, and you
Yeah.
have to get VC to unlock it all. And all the characters, like most of the characters that are not just part of the standard cast that you'd see on TV every week, are locked, and you have to buy them all with VC. And all the arenas that are not the standard arenas you would see every week are locked, and you have to buy them all with VC. So it's not really like I don't play wrestling games to grind to fucking do shit. That's not why I play those
No.
games.
No.
They're a fantasy. They're an escape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not this. Like, if it was a basketball, if it was a sports game, fine. This is a wrestling game, and there's a difference. So
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, people play video games. And this is going to sound really stupid, but people play video games to have fun, not have their wallets pumped.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a thing. A thing I'm not happy about.
Oh.
I'm sad now.
Hmm.
I gotta think. I gotta think of something that's more fun. Oh yeah. Uh, there was like at the training camp I go to, they were like filming a movie this week, or some dude came there to film a movie,
Yeah.
and I was like an extra.
Oh,
And
cool.
then they had me do like a small part where I'm actually like wrestling in it.
Do we have
doing
a
wrestling stuff.
name of the movie? Like, if
I
they're
do
filming,
not.
they probably have the name done.
I don't remember it because all of this came up. All this came up at the last second. I was like, "What's happening?"
So I guess
Okay.
this is the start of Kenshi's acting career.
Hmm.
We'll see you all on the other side once Kenshi's become a multimillionaire character in a Marvel movie or something.
I mean, there are worse ways to try and actually no, they're not worse ways to try and get rich. But I've got like 3 different things going on to try and get rich. So yeah, we might as well add this one too.
You're
Just
a
have,
Renaissance
like,
man. Nothing wrong with that.
all these are ways to try to get rich. One of them has to pan out.
That's the idea, basically. Wrestling not work. Fighting didn't work out. Let's try wrestling. Wrestling may or may not work out. Let's try writing. We're at it. Oh, that's happening too. Oh, let's throw some accuracy in there. Something's got to stick eventually. You throw enough crap at the wall, eventually something will stick to the wall.
Or even go through the wall.
Yeah.
Who's throwing crap through a wall?
The thin walls. The crappy walls.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah, there's this podcast series I'm really been getting into lately.
Is it called the Fandom Flux podcast?
Funny that you mentioned that, Casey, because no, it's called I'm on it.
That would be weird. Yeah. No, good. Well, actually, no. For you, that would be entirely within character.
I mean, yes, I do listen to the episodes back to hear the but that's not the point. That's not the point we're making here.
Sometimes I listen back to hear my own voice as well.
Yeah, we're all narcissists.
Yeah, we are.
None quite like me, but yes.
Yeah, no. I do it rarely just because I want to hear funny parts. I think Kenshi does it more often than that.
Shut up. So, it's called Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
And I listen to this a lot because it's like, well, I was a history minor for nothing other than I'm interested in history, and I was never bored in a history class in my entire life. So yeah. I enjoy the topic. So just listen to this guy go through stuff. It's pretty interesting. And he starts off saying he is not a historian by trade, but he has a lot of really deep points. He has a lot of references. There's a lot of detail he tries to put into these shows, and they're like the ones I'm listening to. They're like 3 hours long for each.
Oh yeah.
So there's lots of content to them. You can subscribe to this thing on like what's the Apple thing for
stuff? Just the podcast channel on or podcast app or whatever on your phone.
Yeah,
the iTunes store.
The iTunes.
And they've also got like a thing on YouTube where there's some on there and there's other stuff on there too. So just been like listening to that a lot. It's been
I think I might actually give that a try. I'm always looking for things to play during my work shifts.
Yeah, this is pretty good for that. So that's pretty much it. Right now I'm listening.
Oh, bless you.
My bad.
It's all good. Right now I'm pretty much listening to his entire run through of like World War One, and it's like I think it's like 6 parts long, and I'm on the second part right now. So.
Oh man. Yeah, I have talked about Extra History before, and their series on the events that led to World War One made me cry.
Yeah.
Because Franz Ferdinand was a cool dude. I pissed off any Serbian that would ever be listening to this for the rest of time, and I might get like a petrol bomb through my window or something. But yeah, he seemed like a cool dude.
Yeah. So, see, I got that. Anything else? Oh, yeah. I haven't updated anything this week, but I'm spreading out my interests throughout the week. So I've got like 4 to 5,000 words in like 3 different stories. We'll see which one piques my interest enough to finish first, which may happen by the end of the week. So something will be coming out. An update will occur.
Sorry, I was thinking about sad things. I completely checked out there for a second. I missed all of that. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Kittens.
Yeah.
Kittens?
Think of dead puppies drowning.
That's what? That's not for this. You don't do that for this.
Also, dead puppies wouldn't drown.
That's the joke. Gosh.
Unless you can die twice. I don't know.
No, but seriously, Ken, what were you talking about so I can put it in the link dump?
Oh, it wasn't anything. I was just saying I'm working on updating multiple stories at once, so one will be completed by the end of the week, probably.
All right, cool.
So.
Okay. Anything else, Ken?
Don't think so. I'm looking around the room to see if anything sparks my memory, but I don't think I have anything.
All right, Casey.
All right, so this could take a while, and we're at 40... Holy shit, we're at 40 minutes already? This went quick. Yeah, so we're going to go backwards in time for this one. So we're going to start most recently. I've been writing a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, I notice my Skyrim story has been suddenly and inexplicably climbing the rankings, and I don't know why. Just, like, for some reason, there's been a fairly steady trickle of new followers and favorites, and I don't know where it's coming from. They're just sort of appearing.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm, like, 13th now in that section. I don't know, like...
Hey, congrats.
I...
My Ruby fic I'm working on is still in, like, the 27th page.
You're gonna have some work cut out for you in that section.
Yeah, at least I still have the Persona fic, which is, like, number 3.
Yeah, the Skyrim section, by comparison, is practically dead, so it's not, it's not that much of an accomplishment. I release one more chapter, I'm probably going to be in the top 10. Which is part of the infamous impetus for me starting to write another chapter, and I killed off a character that probably wasn't particularly popular, but you never know. Like, it was a marriageable character. I don't know whether people go for that guy, but, he died.
Hey, kill off all the characters that are necessary.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, if I'm gonna do this, then yeah, I need to actually... Consequence needs to happen, which is not a thing that exists in Skyrim. Unless very strictly controlled in the narrative. So, I need to fix that. So, yeah. I am partway through writing that chapter. Also, last night, for basically no reason whatsoever, I started writing another One Piece chapter. And I feel like I'm finally somewhat starting to get Luffy's character. Or at least how to write it. And that's basically... doesn't really give a fuck about literally anything. Like, he sees something cool, he goes to see something cool close up. That's a thing that happens. So, yeah. The idea of him being a Marine is sort of, it's a tough balance to maintain, because, like, there's moments where he has to observe propriety, and he will do so for as long as he has to, but as soon as that's done, he is out. And he is doing whatever the fuck he feels like doing. So, yeah. I think I made the introduction to Zoro kind of fun. Just for how I played with that. Before that, this week, I played a new game that came out. You might have heard of it. It's called South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, fracture that butthole.
It's pretty good. I'm about 5 hours through it, I think. Sorry?
What difficulty are you on?
Okay. See... That's the thing. They point out during that section that the skin color thing doesn't actually affect the difficulty of the game, just for the rest of your life, for everything else in your life. So, yeah. But there is a difficulty selection later on for combat. That's a thing.
So what difficulty are you playing on?
The medium one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I guess it's a little more tactical than the first one was, and a little less quick time eventy. Jokes still land pretty well. There was a point where my character, a 9-year-old boy, was giving a middle-aged man a lap dance and farting all over him, and I realized, oh yeah, this is a South Park game, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, so I've been playing that off and on. It's alright. It's pretty good. Before that, I did a thing that I've been talking about for 2 months, which was I went to RTX. Yay!
Yay!
I finally get to talk about it. Yay! So, RTX was a fun, good time. I am very glad I went. I hate the London Tube. I fucking hate it. Oh my god, I hate it.
Well, I have no idea what the heck that even is.
It's the London Underground, the subway system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Either of you been on a subway system, like the train thing?
No. Not that I can remember off the top of my head.
I don't recommend it. I doubly don't recommend it during rush hour.
Well, I think I can figure that out.
It is... Like, do you know the sections of Persona where it's like the loading screens and your character is just sort of standing there and cramped and... Ah, God, hold on to the railing so I don't crush people. Oh, God, it hurts. Yeah, that's pretty accurate and true to life. Except it's like 300 degrees because it's a tiny tube filled with people with body heat. It sucks.
Yeah, the closest thing I've ever been to on that is there's these the monorails, I think, for like either the airport or I think there was one for Disneyland or World or whatever. There was a monorail, and it gets really hot in there because there's so many people.
Public transportation is for chumps.
Yeah.
If you want to drive in London, be my guest, but they do not give a fuck about traffic laws. Like, the very first street I tried to cross, remember I am basically blind, a guy ran a red light right in front of me when I was trying to cross. They don't give a fuck.
I've driven over caved-in bridges. I don't give a fuck about the lack of traffic laws and consequences.
Yeah, so...
You don't have guns in your country. I'll gladly fist fight somebody on the street.
Yeah.
So, getting to and from the convention center was a bit of an adventure.
That's a nice way of putting it.
And to think all I have to do to go to like Saga Anime is just kind of find a parking spot, and then I'm usually pretty good.
Yeah, so on the day before the convention, I got lost because London, and it's a shit show of trying to find where you're actually trying to get to, especially when the tube station nearest to the convention center is closed. The only subway station in the city that is closed is the one at the convention center. Yeah. So, took some negotiating to figure out my way around that, which consisted of walking 8 miles in a day to get myself registered for the convention, because you have to do that before the show. Which meant I was fucked for the first day of the convention. my legs wanted to just sort of start kicking me until I died. Is basically how that went. So, the first night, hang out with some of the Guardians, just coincidentally. Guardians being the volunteer staff for the event. And a bunch of cool people. Very cool people. Fun to hang out with. And I'm not entirely... It's a weird thing that I noticed at that convention. A lot of people trying to style themselves like the Rooster Teeth staff. So I'm not sure whether I actually saw any of them, but I saw someone that looked very much like Gavin Free and someone that was a spitting image of Michael Jones. I don't know whether that was them.
That's really weird.
It's kind of creepy.
It's kind of creepy, yeah.
Because there's cosplaying characters, and then there's cosplaying real people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little weird. But, you know...
It's very weird.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there were a lot of cosplayers as well, just actual cosplayers doing proper cosplay. First day, a bunch of teams from RWBY, like, just all of them, like, original outfits and the new outfits, and there was a couple of Roman Torchwicks and Crows and yada, yada, yada. Remember me mentioning when Ken was talking about the wrestling game?
Yeah.
How the achievement hunters made stupid costumes for playing. So there was this character that they made called Mr Diddles. He wore 2 watches because it was always time to diddle.
Okay, no, this makes me concerned.
And the only other things that he was wearing was a paper bag over his head and a bath towel.
I am concerned.
So there was a cosplay of him.
No, bad.
And
bad.
I basically spent the entirety of the first day just trying not to make eye contact with that guy. Just walking past him, don't look at him, just stay looking straight ahead. Do not stray from your path.
Is it like a Pokemon trainer battle where if you lock eyes, he'll come running towards you?
Oh god, I don't know because I did not want to find out. Is what happened there. Oh.
He's ashamed of being a diddle champion.
So yeah, that was a fun experience for a certain definition.
You narrowly avoided not getting diddled. Or getting diddled. You narrowly avoided getting diddled.
Yeah. You know, it's always time to diddle, so you gotta be careful about that.
Yeah.
That being said, you know, seeing all the cosplayers was fun. Some really cool designs and work went into them. It's pretty cool to see. Someone cosplayed as the Tower of Pimps, which seemed like it was to scale. To be clear what that is, it's from the Minecraft Let's Plays. It's 1 block of obsidian and 4 blocks of gold on top. Stacked. Did you hear me? Sorry, the connection dropped there for a second.
Yeah, honestly, when you said Tower of Pimps, the first thing that popped into my head was like 7 pimps all like sitting on top of each other, just like a balancing act.
Yeah, no. But someone cosplayed as that, and yeah, he just had a little eye hole at the front and couldn't actually see anywhere, so he had his own guardians just sort of guiding him where he wanted to go, which was very nice of them, I suppose. Because, yeah, this thing was about 3.5 meters tall. It's about 8-9 feet tall. It's just him picking up the costume and wondering where he wants to go, not able to see a goddamn thing. It's commitment. Can respect
I
that.
think one of my favorite cosplays that I've seen is somebody cosplayed as the Death Note. They were just book with legs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't manage to get into a single panel on the first day.
That happens.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate consequence of I don't know, just people like they wanted it to be an hour before the panel started, people could start queuing to get in. Yeah, the attendees weren't too fussed about obeying that particular rule. So what would happen is a guardian would stand outside of the panel waiting room and would say, "Don't queue here. This is not a real queue. This is just people that have gathered and they need to get out of the way. So disperse, please." And then there would be a queue behind that. So what this guardian would end up doing, she would just stand at the front, disperse a group of people, who would then go back to the back of the queue that had formed, and then disperse the next group of people who would go to the back, and it would just basically cycle around. I can respect the attempt. It was doomed to failure from the start. So yeah, did not manage to get into any panels at all. And my legs were fucked. So I left by 2 p.m. on the first day. Because I couldn't walk anymore. I would literally have collapsed on the floor of the convention center if I had tried to stay. Sunday, though. Sunday was a good day. Because Sunday, I had mostly recovered. So, actually managed to get into some panels. I got into the Ladies of Rooster Teeth panel, which, yeah, I wasn't unwelcome, but it was definitely a place I probably wasn't, it's kind of a Go Power seminar kind of thing is what it was. So,
You just have to say, hey, I'm a lady too at heart, and then it's fine.
But I'm not. So that's, I don't like to lie.
Lying solves most of your problem. No.
It really doesn't. From experience, it doesn't. I used to be a habitual liar, and I do my absolute damnedest not to do that anymore. So, yeah, I went to that panel. It was fine. There were some fun stories told. There was some not so fun stories that were told, and then I would get some sidelong glances from the women in the audience, and so yeah. But after that, I managed to get into a couple more panels. The Day 5 panel, the show where Sleep Apocalypse, you can't fall asleep or you die. That was cool. The first thing they asked was, okay, who's seen the final episode of Season 2? Or who hasn't seen the final episode of Season 2? And there were quite a few hands up, and they're like, oh no. Because when the question and answer segment comes up, the first question was basically a massive spoiler for the end of Season 2. And I felt so bad for everyone that went to that panel who hadn't seen it. That kind of sucks. Cause,
know better. You gotta know better.
Yeah. I agree. But this was one of the very few panels that actually had room in it. And I guess people just wanted to see something. Yeah. I know the feeling. Because that's partially why I went. I also, very interested in the show. And there was some fun talk about, the production and how all that works for, a show. Talking about how no matter what happens, it doesn't stop. You have a finite budget, so you have a finite window from you can be filming from this date to this date, and there is no moving those whatsoever. You can't do it. So even though they had a sandstorm destroy their entire set on one day, they couldn't stop. They had to keep filming, so they basically had to rebuild the entire set from scratch inside of a soundstage. Yeah, that was, interesting stuff.
That's impressive.
I don't really want to do like any kind of anymore. Like if that was even in consideration before, but yeah, that seems like the most stressful thing in existence. And considering some of the actors were doing method acting and decided, okay, the entire point of my character is that I haven't slept in 5 or 6 days, so I'm gonna not sleep for a couple of days and see, and it'll be realistic. And then that happens. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. And then I managed to get into the voice acting panel, which was. It is surprisingly fun watching people force Miles Luna to sing the Camp Camp song. For people that don't know what that is, I'm going to have to link it in the link dump, so feel free to watch that. Someone asks him to do that at every single panel that he's on. In fact, I'll YouTube it now.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it's one of those songs where it just sort of has a very fast-paced sort of patter section to it where you just have to go and go and go and go and go and you don't get time to breathe. So at the end of the last day of the convention when his voice is shot and he is absolutely fuck tired, someone asks him to sing this, and it's, the heartbreak is real there when that happens, and, so
that's when you tell them to sing. You're like, I'll sing it, but only if you sing it first.
I think someone said encore, and then you no! Yeah, just like a lot of the voice actors just saying how they warm up or how they loosen up for doing a character is they just have the character, this, high-pitched, nice, kid-friendly voice and just have them swear in horrific ways. Just to, like, loosen up and get the voice right. And, yeah. That was fun. Because they demonstrated. That's fun. And someone asked Ruby to do the Kamehameha. And credit to Lindsay Jones. She fucking sold it. Again, end the last day of the convention. Again, probably fuck tired. But sold it. Just went all in on there. So. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then there was the traveling home. And then stuff happened on that day. But yeah, I am very glad I went. I'm going to have a VIP pass when I go next year, if there is another one next year, because considering the cost of actually going just because of hotels and stuff, I can eat the extra cost. That's fine. And I would actually like to get into some panels that I wanted to get into. Like, the ones that I got into were great, but I would have liked to get into one that I really genuinely wanted to get into. That would have been... yeah. That would have been nice. But, so it goes. Also, I need to remember to take my fucking cymbal cane next time. Like, yeah. Would have been really useful for people to be able to tell at a glance that I can't see for shit. Because that would mean a lot less people just sort of walking into me and just sort of glaring at me for being in the way and such. Like, can't help it. Sorry. Yeah. So, that was my fun trip to RTX, and I will not have anything to talk about for the rest of time because that was the one cool thing I did ever.
Were you successful at obtaining food to survive?
See, funny thing about the place that I was staying, and the place where the convention was, it's the London Docklands, which is, there is nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
So the only food was in the convention center, where everything was 2 or 3 times as more expensive than it should be. Like, a 6-inch sub from Subway was a tenner. It's usually about £3, if that. So, not great, but I kind of expected that. People say convention food is expensive. Yeah.
When I went to a convention, Saga Anime, one time we were lucky enough to get into a Subway, but another time, all the restaurants nearby decided to close down early, and so we had to wait in a long line to grab what we could from 7-Eleven and eat it on the sidewalk.
That's weird.
Now that's depressing.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot to mention. My hotel served breakfasts, like, complimentary as part of the room. Yeah, it gave me food poisoning on both days. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like hotel food.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not. It was bad. In fact,
sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad.
Yeah, the second day when I managed to get into those panels, I almost missed one because of that. Because we were queuing for a panel, me and this Irish dude, and talking. Okay, everyone, head into the panel room. We're gonna get started soon. Everyone's walking towards the panel room, and oh no. So yeah, I had to leave so that I could make an emergency trip to the bathroom. At that point, yeah, that that was not great. Oh, I did meet Miles Luna at one point, which was pretty cool. He's Sean from Ruby and writes the show and directs the show and everything. It's a cool guy. And he talked to us about how he had the most terrible food poisoning he's ever had and shat himself. So, it's fun to meet your heroes, I guess.
Ooh, I forgot something. I'm probably going to get another tattoo at some point.
Okay. Is it going to be a coyote?
No. I already have a hyena.
I know, I was seeing whether you were going to do a theme.
No, it's going to be this. Hold on. It's that.
That... Discord just scrolled me back up to the fucking video that Patient posted, and I thought you were going to get King Dice.
That.
Oh, it's a cracked hand. Yeah, that's actually apropos for you. That makes sense.
You don't know what this is?
No, I don't, but I see it's a hand with a crack in it, and that absolutely makes sense for you.
Zero, what is that?
It seems somewhat familiar, but I can't place it.
It's the fighting symbol for Pokemon.
Oh! Yeah! Oh my gosh. I knew it looked familiar.
Well, it's not in brown, so it's not as easy to recognize.
Yeah.
I thought about getting the thing in brown and whatnot, but that won't work on me.
Possibly racist joke. I'm just going to move past it.
So I'm just going to get that. Just going to get the stencil.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's all of my stories from RTX and such. I didn't take any photos. I suck.
Damn it, Casey!
Yeah. I took a couple of videos that I had to delete for reasons.
How will you remember the experience?
Yeah.
Because I have memory of it, and there is a gallery of photos from RTX London, and they released the off-topic panel that they recorded there, and I actually recognized a few people in the crowd. That was a pretty cool experience. Just like watch it back and like, oh, I remember her. Oh, that guy. Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. I'm not a big... Like, I'm the same with autographs. If I meet a person, I want to be like, yeah, I met that person. That was cool. I have the memory. I don't need a thing, like, written on a piece of paper like, hey, you met me. Congratulations. I don't need that. Sorry.
To be fair, I'm the same way. So.
Well, I guess I'll just burn my Charles Martinet signed Super Smash Brothers box.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. Fine for other people to do it. I just don't... That's not a thing, like... Yeah, that's not a thing I'm into. I don't need that. Like, I'd probably be cool with, like, taking a photo with someone that I idolize. That I'd like to do that.
It's not like my brother had to wait in line in the sun for 2 hours to meet Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah, that was his mistake.
Yeah.
I had to get him a drink or else he would have died. It was just so bad.
You should probably carry, like, bottled water. Actually, yeah, that is totally a thing that I'm going to advise people to go to conventions. You should totally have just, like, some kind of drink on you. Just something. Just have something.
Mm-hmm.
Because funnily enough, the fucking vending machines at the convention center were broken.
Yeah, I know. That happened at my convention center, too.
Yeah, something I completely forgot. Yeah, the fucking store line for the Rooster Teeth store was fucked. Like, it was an hour waiting time at best to get in there. And they could have done with that being bigger and such, and, take the heat off, maybe have more staff doing that, but so it goes. First convention in the area, live and learn. So I did get a couple of shirts from that. I got more merchandise for Pokemon than I did for Rooster Teeth. I bought Pikachu in a Gengar costume, and an Umbreon hat with the little ears on it. I don't know why, but Umbreon.
You're never going to wear any of these things. Why do you have them?
Well, two of them are stuffed animals, and the last one's the hat.
You should wear all of them at the same time. Or you should have the hat and holding your stuffed animals every time we record something from now on. It's your uniform.
I'd wear the hat, but it's actually kind of warm where I am right now.
Okay, so is there something else that you forgot again?
I don't think so. Oh, there was the vending machines were broken. I just got a text. The vending machines were broken, but there was this stall in the convention that was selling like foreign food and drinks, and there was actually they were selling Nuka-Cola. So I bought a glass bottle of Nuka-Cola. That was pretty cool.
Ooh, yay!
I haven't drank it yet.
Coca-Cola, but radioactive.
Yeah, it's just sat in my bag that I haven't unpacked yet. So that was pretty cool. I'm probably gonna keep that. That's pretty much it, though. That's everything.
All right. Yeah. I think that's it then. We did our weeks.
Do we want to do recommendations, or are we gonna skip?
I got a recommendation.
Alrighty.
So I'm recommending. I don't know if this has been recommended before. This is a nice little horror-themed fic for your Spooktober little thing. It's called "Hello, Is My Name Ruby Rose?" And this is kind of a puzzle fic. There's lots of stuff to it. Lots of minor changes with the text as it goes on. It's 111 chapters. It doesn't feel like that long at all. It took me like maybe a couple hours at most to try to get through it all. And each time you go through a chapter, it adds a little bit more to the story, and then there are minor changes that start to happen and crop up. And it gave me chills. So read this when it's dark in your room at about midnight, and you will have nightmares.
I work at midnight.
Okay, so read it a little bit before then if you're into Ruby. Even if you're not into Ruby, it's pretty effective at what it does. I like a lot of the techniques used here. I think some are not as effective. There's some parts where I'm like, okay, that's a little bit cartoonish with how far you're going in that direction. But then it pulls it back a little bit more, and it focuses more on that kind of creeping dread, which is much better than trying too hard to be like, blood and whatnot. So, yeah, have a little spooky time with that.
Can
You know better.
All right. My recommendation is actually me doubling down on a recommendation that someone else gave. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Greek guy. But I'm probably wrong. I'm sorry. I haven't checked and can't really do so right now. Probably should have done it before this. But I recommended a Dresden Files self-insert in the last episode of the podcast, and someone responded and said, "Hey, you read that and you haven't finished it. I can tell, but cool. Try this other story that's Dresden Files Stargate crossover, and it's pretty cool. And it's got a sequel story and a side story from some other characters' perspectives. Yeah, pretty good story, and sequel story, and side story. All of it's pretty fucking solid. So the first story is called, I believe, God's Eye. It's a Dresden Files Stargate crossover. So Harry Dresden fighting the necromancers trying to ascend to godhood, and something happens and he gets sent, well, to coin a phrase, or to, coin to someone else's phrase, he gets sent a long time ago in a star system far, far away. It's actually about 3 or 4 years ago, but, whatever. For the sake of the joke. And he gets put on a planet with basically the gold god of magic and gets taken over as a host, but then sublimates the symbiote and takes over and basically becomes the new god of magic, or as the Stargate fiction would have it, false god, and just sort of, that's kind of a thing they do. I know no one else on this show is actually familiar. But it's actually pretty good at fitting the two fictions together. Like, the entire basis of Stargate is there are no gods, there is no magic, it's all just sufficiently advanced technology and such. And this story basically turns that on its head, and no, the Gould were actually totally legitimate gods at one point. That they're not anymore, but they were, and they have connections to the Fae, which was also an ancient race in Stargate, and they connect that through that. And yeah, it's all put together really well. There are choices and consequences in just about every decision that every character makes, which is always nice to see, is every character failing and succeeding at different intervals. I can't really speak to the Dresden Files characters and whether they're accurate or not, because, again, I still haven't read the fucking books. But yeah, it's a fun story that does some interesting things with the fiction and combining the two universes. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for this episode, I think. Anyone want to drop anything real quick? Last minute?
I just heard this. Hey, so Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to be on the Switch only, so if you're into that series, just heard this.
That says Tensai, that's wrong.
Yeah, I know. This is not an official source I'm getting this from. It's somebody who retweeted it.
It's just wrong.
I know.
For shame. For shame. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, I'm not especially into the, mainline SMT games. They kind of...
Yeah, but I know some people who listen to this might be, so I just felt like dropping that bit of info if you haven't heard yet.
Yeah, okay. I should probably... I have to link the fucking thing that got it wrong.
You could just link. I'll send you the YouTube link. How about that?
You know what? I'm gonna save everyone some trouble. Shin Megami Tensei, not Tensai 5 is gonna be on the Switch, an exclusive. So there you go. Now I don't have to link the stupid thing. Woo. I'm an asshole. All right. So that's pretty much it. That was a question, not.
Oh, that was a question. You worded it like a statement. I didn't know
I
it was
did.
a question.
I apologize. I meant to rise at the end, but I didn't rise enough. Gotta rise up.
Just go back
On
down.
your knees, you rise up.
Stop. Stop.
I suppose you've
Bad
gotten
boy.
enough of that from Critical Role at this point, right?
Their singing is better.
It's true. You're not wrong. So, yeah. I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast episode 196. That was long. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel, through the comments. Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.